Welcome to the Gold Creek Extended Cut podcast, where we dive a little bit deeper into the weekend message. My name's Nick. I'm the pastor at Gold Creek, and so glad to be here today. Got a couple pastor friends.
Come on.
From the Gold Creek world here today.
We're in it to win it.
We're in it. JC, not Jesus. different JC.
No, James Cullen, Lick Stevens campus.
Yeah.
Come on.
And
I'm Mike. Monroe, baby.
Mikey from the Mo.
That's right.
Oh, what'd you guys eat for breakfast today? It's like a fun opener.
I had eggs. I had some eggs.
Okay. Is that
A
normal?
little hot sauce on top. No, I
You
don't
have
usually eat
you have
breakfast.
fussy tummy though.
I do. I don't usually eat breakfast.
Okay.
I'm a coffee and banana kind of guy. But there was no banana, so I was like, eggs it is.
That one hits my the morning's going to move itself. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
If I do coffee and banana only,
It's like they balance each other out.
I find they accelerate. They like Captain Planet.
Fun fact, green bananas actually stop you up. Brown bananas make you go.
Fascinating. Anyway, Mike, what'd you have for breakfast?
Not normally
This is
a
what you want
breakfast
on
guy.
a podcast.
I'm a Red Bull coffee guy.
Are we sponsored right now?
Dude.
Did they pick up
Someday, dude.
Are you doing
Someday.
sponsors? I'm drinking Soleil currently.
Oh man, Safeway Select.
That's
baby.
right.
Safeway Select. I'm a member.
Let's get into it. We got a few things to cover, and I think it'll be good. We're in this series, wrapped up this series yesterday, Gender Reveal. In Gender Reveal, we're talking about what is gender. We had, you guys covered, at your own churches, you covered what is a woman?
No, dude. What is gender? Why does it matter? And then,
and then biblical
womanhood.
Femininity.
biblical womanhood, biblical
Yes.
femininity,
Yeah.
and then we hit a vision for biblical manhood.
Yep.
And I think when I was thinking about this message series, it's been interesting. Like people have been, I don't know if you guys have experienced this. It'd be an interesting question. Like, have you guys gotten more? Has it felt more like, not tense, but if people felt more interested than you would have thought? Like, has it felt spicier than you expected it to feel?
I wouldn't say spicier. I think they thought it was going to be spicier, but I don't know that
Okay.
we got super spicy.
I feel like people were less worried about it than I anticipated. I feel like, especially going into week one, what is gender? Why does it matter? I felt like there might be more pushback or more concern, but I felt like it was less.
chilling.
Yeah, people were less worried about it than I was even going on stage.
Okay, good. No,
That's how I felt too.
I think I thought what you guys all said, well, not Mike, but what James said that I experienced was when we rolled out the series title, people were like, oh, shoot.
Oh, yeah. We got that on the front
got
end.
that on
for
the front end
sure.
too?
A lot of people came in that Sunday and were like, hey, how are we doing this?
Got it.
You know?
Okay.
But not on the back end.
Not on the.
what I'm saying.
What's interesting about all of that is I forgot, because we shared, well, you're in the kitchen here, the bear. Dude, I love the bear right now. I don't have enough time to talk about that.
He found a way to plug
Literally all the time he
He
talks
found
about
a
it.
way to plug.
All he talks about. I mean, it's a good show, but that's all he talks
I'm
about.
a little obsessed. So we plan our message series behind the scenes is like, I probably plan 50%, maybe. I don't know if that's even accurate, but
Seasonally, yeah.
Seasonally, yeah. So, but what made me think of the series title, I forgot it was June. I forgot it was like Pride Month. I wasn't thinking about any of that stuff. I didn't know we were going to have Seattle pop off. Obviously, by the time you listen to this, you're like, "What happened?" I know. Anyway, but what I thought about for the whole series was on Father's Day, I wanted to do like a conversation around what is like a vision for biblical masculinity. That's what germinated the whole series. And which then turned into like you said, like, oh shoot, we're doing this. It's like, I thought it was gonna be fun. Like, didn't. So that was a pure, just regular oversight. Little context. I'm sure you guys hit this yesterday. I hit this yesterday a little bit, just by way of introduction. That young men, the Barna stats are out on this stuff. Young men, first time ever, more men than women in church. It used to be like, if you were a dude and you went to a good church and you were single, like
You're getting married.
you're getting married, and they're gonna fight over you. And not only you're gonna be a commodity. If you're a mediocre guy, you drop into
Come
church.
on, it was a good season.
Up the stock.
Yeah.
Days are over.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, you definitely hit above your weight class a little bit.
Yeah. I am a beneficiary of that
same
exact
here, same
dynamic.
here.
So
Tricked my wife.
Yeah, we tricked him. But now it's like different, right? Gen Z, more young men than women in church. I think I talked about this the other week. our camera guy, Tyler. Say what's up, Tyler. What's up? Okay, Tyler is in the group. So, but one of the guys at the group, I was just asking this group of guys around the fire the other week, like, hey, I'm reading the trends. I'm reading the Barna studies. You guys all hear it. Is it true? Like, is this true in your world? And one of the dudes in the group was like, yeah, you know what? I went out, got a couple of beers, went out to this bar, ran into like 12 old football buddies, like guys from my football team. None of them were Christians before in high school. 6 of them have gotten baptized.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, so it's not just it's not just a trend on a piece of paper. It's like people are living this out. Yeah. So the thing I wanted to interact with for a few minutes in that, and the reason I wanted to think about this weekend in the series is because I'm like, okay, if the trends are real, the stories are real, we all know people. Like, do you guys think part of this? I'm just gonna go straight for the jug on this one.
Okay, let's do it.
Part of it is, do you guys think this is in response to the world like hating men, the world rejecting men, the world sort of like if you're like a straight male, you know, you're not from a marginalized group in whatever way, people are kind of like, we don't have time for you anymore. It's kind of how do you think the attraction to Christianity is in response to that, or you think it's something different?
I think it's a little bit of both. When you think about it, I feel like what ends up happening. I was a youth pastor for a long time. You were a youth pastor. You were youth pastor.
Why? Yeah.
Exactly. Youth ministry right here representing.
Good job.
That was terrible. That was awesome. I loved it and I hated it at the same time. But one thing that we would always see is our high schoolers would graduate and then they would stop going to church.
Okay.
That always happened, right? There was 3 out of 4. That's the stat out there.
Yeah. All the stats are bad.
Exactly. And then sometime in their 20s, they get married and then they would start coming back. And we would see it all the time where my old youth would call me and be like, hey, I've been going to church. I'm married. I have a kid now, etc. And I think a lot of it is that. And what's happening is because of, I don't want to use the word arrested development, but I think they have taken longer to get to that point of family settling down, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And because of that, we're seeing it now when it probably should have happened 5 years ago.
Okay.
And I think maybe even COVID played a part in it because a lot of kids went through high school in
But what about
COVID.
dudes who aren't in a family yet?
Well, yeah, I mean, some of that is. That's why I said there's a little bit of both. And I think
Okay,
there's some friends that, you do what your friends do. And if it's positive, then it's positive. If it's negative, it's negative. Like, I don't know. I'm glad YouTube wasn't around when I was in my 20s because,
No doubt.
I'd be canceled like every other day. But it's just, you do what is kind of around you. And I think that's part of it.
Yeah, I think a little bit, I saw a clip of this a while ago. There's like, the younger generation always bucks the culture a little bit. And I feel like as our culture has shifted more and more, not even like right or left, but just like away from scripture and like historical Christian beliefs, I guess you could say. I heard a podcast where they were saying like the only way to like buck culture right now is to go to church, is to like go back. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting. And so I wonder if it's some of that is like we've tried everything. Culture's way against this. It's obviously not working.
Okay.
I'll show you.
Maybe I should try something different.
What about that appeals to men specifically, do you think?
I think it's partially just like they've tried to like get what they're looking for in every area and just realized it's empty. What they've been sold is just not coming to fruition. And they're like, you know what, maybe this old way.
Christianity does define, male and female kind of archetypes and stereotypes, like in a very traditional way. Like there's a very clear cut, like this is how a man should be, should honor God, honor your wife, honor your kids. And so there isn't this like gray area kind of like, well, whatever you're feeling that day. It's like, no. You're supposed to be a man. You're supposed to take care of your wife. You're supposed to take care of your children, take care of yourself, go to church, serve, be a good neighbor, all of those things. And I think that's part of it, is that structure of it, I think.
Interesting. Do you think, so same vein, but different angle?
Sure.
Do you guys think that the rise, what do they call it? The manoverse, the bro, kind of like how like Donald Trump got elected, was like going on all these bro podcasts and
the Liver King, those guys.
Not the Liver King.
Dude, get that guy out of here.
But he was promoting that. There was the whole.
I'm not on steroids.
It's
like, dude, come on.
Dude. Yeah,
that was not the question. It was the whole bro thing around it. He was throwing it down in the gym with all those guys. And
to be honest, though, did you guys start eating raw liver because of Liver King?
You did.
Can capsules. He did the capsules.
No. Did you cook it at least?
I cooked. I barely ate liver. I did start eating like beef organs.
Got it.
Which I do still enjoy. I'm gonna be honest. I keep them going.
Are they the pills or
He's a menudo kind of
So
guy.
I just get some lamb kidneys or
that's
some
crazy.
beef hearts.
I
throw 'em
did
on.
buy some one time, and it just sat in my freezer. I just
Got
like,
it.
nah.
You weren't trying to.
I think I'll just do it in New York. You
I
know?
think we all thought like, hey man, just slice off a liver, and then I'll be jacked in
Yeah.
8 days. I mean, I don't know how
It
long.
obviously
like, you're not
works,
gonna,
dude.
Yeah,
clearly, bro.
I did not fall into that temptation that you guys fell into.
So we got the bro universe. You got Rogan, Theo Vaughn, the Schultz, Andrew Tate. That whole he's a different category. I feel like, but still like kind of like these masculine voices, and then a number of them have now had this pull toward Christianity. Do you think that guys are attracted to their like belief set, or what? Why are guys why do they connect with what these dudes are saying, or dudes like them?
I think in any like comedians are successful because they say the thing that a lot of people are thinking, and then
funny.
we won't say it, and
It's
they're
entertaining
funny.
and funny. I mean,
Sometimes
that's part
it's
of it.
Yeah, but I feel like they like those podcasts that they do, not even their stand-up bits or whatever. They just like say a lot of the things that people think, but people won't say. And so I think guys naturally are attracted to that.
Yeah, okay.
But then I think in the like religious space, as they're having those conversations, I think it's just those guys have opened up the door maybe for those conversations to just be more mainstream in younger men when that maybe wasn't the case 5-6 years ago even.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Do you think? What do you think's good about the pull towards it? What do you think's like yellow? Not code red. I don't think there's any code reds personally. Maybe there are, but what do you think's like cautionary about it?
I mean, it's good because they're at least listening to the gospel, you know, and the word of God does not come back void, right? So
that's what it says.
At the worst case, they're at least getting some sort of like exposure and seeds. How it could go sour is if you follow the man and not God, just like with any situation. Then you're going to find out that they're going to fail, they're going to mess up, they're going to let you down. Something's going to happen because they're not perfect. Yeah, and then you're like, oh well, if this is Christianity, then this isn't for me. Yeah, no, this isn't Christianity. This is whoever it is, Abe Smith or whatever it is, that was the one that messed up. And I think that's with church culture as well too. For sure. Pastors, whatever it is, if you follow the pastor to a degree, that's great. But ultimately it should be, your connection to Jesus, not your connection to the other people. So that's the hard part.
Yeah. I think the only yellow flag would be these guys are already on a pedestal. Yeah. They're already on a level where we look to them, not even necessarily for advice, but whatever. Yeah. And so when they're speaking on these things, I don't think any of them are trying to be spiritual authorities in any way. Sure. But I think sometimes they end up being because of their platform. Yeah. And so as maybe younger people are newer to their faith, checking it out, it's great that they've opened the door. Yeah. But if they don't get introduced to a local church, if they don't get introduced to people that have been walking with the Lord for longer periods of time that have wisdom in that, it's just a very narrow view of what this whole thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I think I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say wrestling. Kind of hate that word. I'm wrestling with this.
But I'm in a season of wrestling.
I'm in a season of wrestle.
The Lord is speaking.
Yes, I'm hitting these thoughts with a single leg. I can't seem to manipulate them down. But I do think one of the things I'm thinking about with it is good. I feel like there's a big good response in men right now. Younger guys, older guys. When I say older, I mean with a family, like Tyler would call us.
Like your age. Got
specifically me and James. I don't know about you. But,
I'm older than both of you hosers.
But where men are like, dude, I'm going to step up. I'm going to take care of my family. Yeah. Like we talked about it this weekend. We talked about three P's for guys. So guys want to provide, protect, peace keep. And I do think there's so much good. So this is where I'm not struggling, but I'm just trying to I'm hopeful. I guess that's what I am. I'm hopeful that it's yes, step up, be a man. Yes, get a job. Yes, take care of your family. But the vision that the New Testament, that I think both Jesus prescribes and then the rest of the New Testament affirms is not this it's not a vision alone where men just take care of their families and Like, I think that's my caution. I'm taking the long way, Mike. My caution in it is like, are guys going to think, I'm a cold plunge, I'm going to eat keto, I'm going to be jacked, I'm going to live the samurai way, I'm just going to throw Jesus into that, and then, like, boom, that's it. But in fact, like, Jesus, like what we preach out of Ephesians, this idea being like, no, if you're going to really be a man in Jesus, you have to kind of like give up any of your own self-reliance.
For sure.
You know, I think that's where I'm like, I don't know. And you said it. You said that was really good. Like, none of these guys are trying to be an authority. I'm like, I like that. But who's going to tell these guys, you know, like the step beyond as you encounter Jesus?
The like podcast guys or the young guys?
The young guys.
Okay.
Yeah, where are they going to hear that? In theory, they're going to hear it in church.
Yeah,
hopefully,
for sure.
If we do our jobs correctly. I mean, we're really talking about a journey of formation.
Got it.
Sure.
Because that's right. That's where the wrestling. All right, I used it. That's where the wrestling for me comes in. Because I'm like, bro, if your entry point has to be like, bro, I'm a crappy dad. I want to be a better dad, and I want to get a better job, and I'm gonna like those are good. Do cold plunge, do the deadlifts, you know, but like not as your end game.
For sure.
Anyway.
I just think God uses different things all the time.
Sure.
Like in different seasons. Like you just think about like the Jesus movement. You think about like all throughout history how God has moved with his people. And we're in a different day and age where technology is
Good take, Mike.
in people's face. And I don't think we need to fear that that's the end game. Like God, like some people that will be, you know, and that's a bummer.
Sure.
They're missing out on God's best.
I guess that's not bad, right? There's nothing inherently bad.
No one's going to have a better life, worse life if they go, I'm going to start eating better, taking care of my family, taking care of myself. Like your life's not going to get worse.
Yeah.
But if you miss out on the ultimate thing, I think that's where you're missing out on God's best. But I just think God uses different things in different eras. And this might be one of them that's opening the door.
It's a good take, Mike. I didn't think about that. We talked about this idea of provision this weekend, of the role of like man as provider. We actually had kind of different takes. It's good. We start, the G's about to go, bro. We got to figure out the G, Tyler.
Oh man.
I don't know. Is it particularly heavy on the left? Must be. My left, you're right. I'm gonna look to my left. Anyway.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Because I was kind of saying that, and I said on Sunday, I feel like it's easier than ever. I said it's easier than ever to provide for basic needs. Now, there's a whole other like when I think basic needs and what my dad thought as basic needs, I'm like, yeah, my basic needs are 2 trips a year to Cabo and like grass-fed beef, just basics, like nothing.
For sure. Fully stocked fridge all the time.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Just like, yeah, I definitely want to
New pair of socks every day.
Yeah, new pair of socks every day.
Wear them once.
Couple of different showers, unlimited hot water. Anyway, so we could go down that road, but I think, you know, whether it's our social safety net, our society around us, like most of us as guys are not going to have our families like literally starving. You know, I don't think that's going to happen. So I think the provision could look like, you know, more showing up. It's perhaps harder than ever to be engaged, especially if you're a dad. This isn't just for dads, but like for guys, it's harder than ever to be engaged, emotionally available. But then you guys, somebody was saying, you were talking.
I think we were both almost agreeing on
Yeah.
that. Let me ask this: do you think that could be right? It is easier now than ever to.
There's more opportunities now.
More
Do
opportunities.
you think
say
that
it's easier.
causes the other thing to be harder because there has to be a level of engagement that is past the I'm going to show up to work, turn it off when I get home. It's so intertwined. Like, you'll make more money, but it's going to be intertwined to every area of your life.
Yeah.
And that makes it harder to be present with your kids, all those sort of things.
Yeah, I mean, I think as guys, my hope is guys listening will all see their own leadership potential. So if we just talk about this from a leadership standpoint for a second, right? Like, so as leaders, you guys know this better than anybody. The higher you go in leadership, the more that's demanded of you. Always. Nikki Gumbel, great quote. Leadership is weight. Yep. You don't do it for the perks. The perks just kind of offset it. It's more about like the higher you go in leadership, the more you got to carry.
For sure.
And now I think what's unique about our time today is if you're a leader, the way that you carry weight, you can't. It's much harder to put down. Like we're so connected. We're so, your phone 24/7, even the idea of vacation. But people can like the people that you're leading and the needs that they have, they can reach you via email, via text, via DM, via, so like.
They can track you with the Find My Phone app.
Yeah, right.
They can see when you're active on Instagram.
That's right.
That's a thing.
It
Yeah.
is. The
And
little
then you're
green
like,
dot.
oh, I'll message them now.
Yeah, and
Let's
respond, right? So I think there's that side of it where, like, if leadership is weight, then everybody's carrying weight longer. I think that's a way to put it. It's harder to disrobe the weight, maybe.
Sure. Don't you get used to the weight, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, you carry around a backpack that's 20 pounds all the time. You just it's 20 pounds. Like, it just becomes a part of you almost, right?
Then you just end up taking up more, I think.
Yeah,
right?
and
Like
then-
once you get used to it, then you're like, okay, what's the next thing I can take
you add
on?
some more, and so I feel like it's a thing that's constantly happening, and I'm not negating the fact that it's a heavy thing. Obviously, it's a heavy thing to be a leader, a father, whatever it is. But that's, I mean, I guess the best way to put it is suck it up. I don't know. I just feel like suck it up. You're a leader. You're going to carry some more weight. Absolutely. You know, when I take my kids on a trip and I carry most of the heavy luggage. Why? Because I can. So I do. And I don't expect,
100%.
my wife or my kids to do it. And so I feel like part of it is like, well, let's just suck it up.
Your kids,
be a
you have
man.
an older kid, though, now.
I do. It's
feel
so nice. He's 16. I'm like, you carry that. He said, Dad, I can't lift it. I'm like, yes,
bet
you can.
Yeah. What are the odds?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it. Part of it is, but then I wonder if, like, the way guys respond is to the weight and to the connection is just like with distraction. Like, we're trying to get distracted from the weight as opposed to like, because I think parenting, like if you're
Or
a leader,
check out of the weight. Like, just put it down and do something else.
Yeah, where parenting, you said it, parenting is weight.
Yeah.
Or two. So if you're
Yeah.
leading and you're more connected and you're trying to grind it out because the world's more competitive and you're trying to stay ahead and trying to stay relevant, then I think it's harder to provide like the connection, the stability, the emotional. I think that's another big thing is just like, what is the thing men can provide to the world is just like vulnerability. Just like it's harder to be vulnerable.
Is it doing it again?
Just knock it over.
It just likes me,
bro.
man. Well, this tape's pulling it on this side.
It does.
Too, so
Yeah, it's attracted to you.
it's, I'm the G.
Did you say the G's attracted to him?
Yeah, my G.
That's insane.
The G.
Anyway, what else did you guys talk about yesterday that you liked?
Well, one of the questions that I get all the time when dads become dads for the first time, like, Dad, what's it? Because I know I have 4 kids. Like, what's it like being a dad? Like, is it really hard? And I go, I don't know if hard's the right word. You just lose your free time. Like, I think that's the biggest thing that for me hit me when I became a dad. I was like, where's my free time is going away because gone are the days where I could just work out for 4 hours or go play golf for 6 hours and then come home. Like if I did that, my wife's holding a screaming baby at home.
Yeah.
She's been calling 7 divorce lawyers at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like I cannot believe you just left me. You just left me to go work out for 4 hours while my kid has been screaming this. Like that would be the worst thing. And so you just learn that your free time just goes away to a degree. I mean, it comes back as you start adjusting to that kid. It's not like, don't be like, oh my gosh, I'm never having kids. It's not like that. But usually the first response is, oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that, James. And you kind of deflate them. And then now, again, we're talking about that leadership weight. Now it's on me to either let him sit in that, which is kind of fun sometimes. I do laugh at him. It's fun. Or now here's my opportunity to build into this other guy and be like, but you're taking on such a more full and fulfilling responsibility that is worth way more than a superset of bench press to a shoulder press. Like it is way better than
2 press movements.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said superset. It's like boom, blow those shoulders out, or shooting the best round of golf of your life. It is so much fuller than that to experience your child loving you in a way that is super unconditional. And so when you kind of repackage that, they're like, oh, okay, and you build them back up. Yeah, and that's one of the things that I really emphasized this weekend was men have the ability to tear each other down. And we have the ability to build each other up. And we can tear each other down in ways that you would never even guess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you would not expect it, and all of a sudden you're like, "What?" And it just happens. But at the same time, we can pick each other up like so much easier as well too. Unlike, not that women can't, but in a different way. You know, there's just something about a bro picking up another bro, saying, "Dude, I know this is hard. I'm with you. Let's do this together."
Yeah.
Do you have like a good hand signal I can give you if I need a pickup?
Just twice to the
Twice
nose.
to the nose. Like,
Just flex at me like I just need a little help, you know?
yeah, I don't need help on that.
Well, we're just talking about signals. I'm not talking about whether you can flex or not.
Okay.
My gosh, dude. Oh man.
What were you saying, Mike?
I feel like sometimes I have 3 young kids, 5, just about to be 5, 3, and 1.
Thick of it.
In the thick of it, I think for the first, I don't know, it's something I struggle with as a dad when I first started was like, I feel like everything I was doing, you just see no results. You're just like, what? You're
Changing
just
another diaper.
You're parenting
Sweet.
constantly with a toddler, but like,
know.
you know, and I think just in this last probably 6 months with my oldest, just like she's starting to get a little personality. She's starting to just share certain things about like who she is, what she believes about herself, what she believes about the world, and like what she loves about me and her mom and all these sort of things. And I think it's been interesting the last 6 months she said some things to me that I'm just like, where did you hear that? Where, and so what's been interesting is like, I feel like there's something that I can provide specifically to my daughters that my wife can't, just because of the role that I sit in within the family. And I think for the first 4 years of being a parent, I saw 0 of that, because it's just like, you're just grinding it out. But I think it's been cool now to go like, oh, there is something powerful about my voice and how I speak into my daughter and how I lift her up and give her confidence, and then being able to see that happening. And so I think just remembering like the things that you say matter. The way that I speak to my wife matters, because they watch and they see everything. But it's encouraging when you see the results, like what you were talking about, like it's almost deflating when you tell someone like, dude, you're going to lose all your free time. And it's like, well, that kind of sucks, you know? And then like, oh yeah, you're going to lose the next 4 years of your life. It's just going to be like a blur. But then once you start to see like, oh, all of this hard work is like paying off in like this little human being that
we called it baby jail is what we called it in our house. You're just stuck in baby jail for a little bit.
Baby jail, dude. Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, and I'll just say of course, pre-kids, you guys know, like I think to myself, I mean, that makes me sound like the old guys. Well, every old guy said to me, but like, you don't have no idea how much free time you have. It is true. Like not just free time, just like freedom.
Oh, I sit down with my wife every Sunday night and I look at our week and I schedule when I'm going to work out. Like, when can I sneak it in?
Oh, dude, have to.
Like, I never thought that would like schedule a workout.
I know exactly.
But here's what's interesting now, I would say, is like if I get, and maybe this will change. I hope it changes for the better at some point. But like if I do get redeemed time, like the kids are like at my parents' or my wife's family for a couple of days, or like if we get time back, like I feel like I'm so conditioned to do this season of life as a parent. I'm gonna take a step further and say that like, yeah, what God's designed us for as men is not like long-term leisure. Not that you don't have to be married, you don't have to be a dad to be fulfilled as a man. I think that's a really slippery slope and dangerous ground. I'm just saying that like guys are designed on some level for purpose.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So for at least for all the 3 of us in this season, big sense of purpose has been activated in parenthood.
Yeah.
And so when that goes away, it almost feels weird.
Yeah. I've heard like we almost put ourselves in a dangerous spot when we have too much leisure time. That's where men get themselves in trouble.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
like when you, like one pastor I've heard basically is like, you should get home and at the end of the day, like putting your kids, like you should be tired. You should not have all the, like, if you have all the energy in the world after a week of being a dad, going to work, doing all the things, you probably aren't as engaged as you should be.
Your wife probably did a lot too much.
Yeah, you're
then.
probably,
Go check on your wife because she might be passed out on the floor.
Yeah, she's dying.
She's literally laying on the kitchen floor because she fell asleep. You know? You're like, oh, sorry, wife.
Whoops.
Oh, man.
All right, man.
That's part of it too, though.
You guys got anything else? Parting thoughts on manhood.
Be a man. Step
Man
up. Man up. Step up. Let's use all the cliches. What else do we know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. You don't know any man of cliches? Come on, you played baseball. Come on, man. That's a bro sport. If I
Can't say
can
him
say
on
one.
camera, you know? Stupid.
On that note, dude, thanks, guys. Thanks for jumping in.
Come on.
Of course.
Week 2, the extended cut. Thanks for checking out Extended Cut Podcast. Follow us online, coldcreek.org, 3 locations, Monroe, Lake Stevens, Mill Creek. We love you. See you next week.